July 6th, 1942. A few days ago, Father began to talk about going into hiding. He said it would be very hard for us to live cut off from the rest of the world. He sounded so serious, I felt scared. Don't worry, Annika. We'll take care of everything. Just enjoy your carefree life while you can. Carefree? I was born in Frankfurt on June 12th, 1929. Because we're Jewish, my father emigrated to Holland in 1933. He started a business, manufacturing products used to make jam. But Hitler invaded Holland on May 10th, 1940, a month before my 11th birthday. 5 days later, the Dutch surrendered. The Germans arrived, and the trouble started for the Jews. Father was forced to give up his business. We couldn't use streetcars, couldn't go to the theater or movies anymore, couldn't be out on the street after 8 p.m. We couldn't even sit in our own gardens. We had to turn in our bicycles. No beaches, no swimming pools, no libraries. We couldn't even walk on the sunny side of the streets. My sister Margaret and I had to go to a Jewish school. Our identity cards were stamped with a big black J, and we had to wear the yellow star. But somehow life went on, until yesterday, when a call-up notice came from the SS. Margaret was ordered to report for work in Germany, to the Westerbork transit camp. A call-up. Everyone knows what that means. At 5:30 this morning, we closed the door of our apartment behind us, 10 days earlier than my parents had planned. My cat was the only living creature I said goodbye to. The unmade beds, the breakfast things on the table, all created the impression we'd left in a hurry. And our destination? We walked 2.5 miles in the pouring rain, all the way to Father's office building. Our hiding place, the secret annex, is right behind it upstairs. Even though the Germans forced Father out, he still runs the office with Mr. Crawler and Meep, who've agreed to help us while we're in hiding.
A rat!
Oh, Meep.
Mr. Frank, thank God you arrived safely.
Oh, Meep!
Mrs. Frank, you must be exhausted. If only we'd known you were coming, we would have had it all ready for you.
You've done too much already, Meep. Besides, it's good for us to keep it busy. As you see, Anne's my little helper.
I can see that. Oh, Peter, come in.
Oh, Peter, the first to arrive. Welcome, Peter. Peter Van Dan, children.
Welcome to the annex.
Peter, Margaret, Anne. You already know Mrs. Frank.
Mrs. Frank?
Forgive me, Peter, I'm not quite myself, but I'm so glad you'll be with us.
I am too.
A cat? He has a cat.
A black one.
We have a cat too. I wanted to bring her, but I know our neighbors will take care of her till we come back. I don't know what I'll do without her. But it'll be great having a cat here. Won't it, Pim? Won't it be fantastic?
Anne, dear, don't get so excited. Peter doesn't know you yet.
He'll get to know me soon, though. It's going to be so much fun having people around. A whole other family, won't it, Margaret?
Yes.
Like being on vacation in some strange pension or something. An adventure, romantic and dangerous at the same time.
What is it, Peter?
My parents. They were right behind me, 1 street away.
They'll be here.
You don't think they were?
Don't worry, Peter. You're just like me.
Mother's always jumping at every little thing. What's its name?
Mooshie.
Mooshie? Mooshie. I love cats. Where'd you go to school?
They set up a technical school in someone's house. Once we were
I
forbidden
had to switch from my Montessori school to the Jewish Lyceum.
I know. I saw you there.
You did?
See, what did I tell you? Now we're all here.
Just in time. We had to take the long way around. There were too many green police on the streets.
Welcome, Mrs. Van Dan, Mr. Van Dan. You already know my wife and the children.
We must hurry. The workmen will be here in half an hour.
Such trouble we're causing you, Mr. Crawler, after all you and Meep have done. And now we arrive early.
You couldn't let your daughter be taken away, Mr. Frank.
Please, don't worry. We'll do everything we can to help. Now, I must run and get your ration book.
Wait,
If they see our names on ration books, they'll know we're here, won't they?
Trust me, your names won't be on them. Now, I'll be up later. If you make a list every day, I can try and get you what you want. And every Saturday, I can bring 5 library books.
Thank you, Meep.
5? Oh, I know what my 5 is going to be.
And, dear, remember, there are 7 of us.
I know, Mother.
It's illegal then, the ration books. We've never done anything illegal.
I don't think we'll be living exactly according to regulations here.
Listen, the Vestertoren.
Oh, how will I ever get used to that clock?
Oh, I love it.
Meep or I will be here every day to see you. I've hidden a buzzer to signal you when we come up, and tomorrow I'll have that bookcase placed in front of your door. Oh, and one last thing. The radio.
A radio? Fantastic.
A radio, thank God.
How did you get it? We had to turn ours in months ago.
Thank you, Mr. Crawler, for everything.
Oh, you'll tell them about the noise.
I'll tell them.
How can we thank you, really? How can we
I
ever...
never thought I'd live to see the day a man like Mr. Frank would have to go into hiding.
What a journey. It's a wonder we weren't arrested. Petronella walking down the street in a fur coat, carrying a hat box in the middle of summer.
What do you need another hat for?
It's not another hat. It's...
Oh.
I just don't feel at home without my chamber pot.
Now, everyone, a few things quickly. We have to get organized before 8. Anne, sit down, please. Listen, while the workmen are in the building from 8 until 6, we must keep completely quiet. So no shoes, please. And move about only when necessary. We can't run any water. We can't flush the toilet in the WC. The pipes go down through the warehouse and every sound can be heard.
Only one toilet? For all of us?
Anne. No trash can ever be thrown out. Not even a potato peel. We'll burn everything in the stove at night. We can't go outside, of course. We can't even look out a window. No coughing. If possible, no fevers. Remember, we can never call a doctor. This is the way we must live until it is over. But after 6, we can talk, laugh, play games, move about just as we would at home. This will be our common room, the place where we meet to have supper. Like one family.
One family. I love that.
And now I think we'd better get settled in. As Mr. Van Daan and I discussed, this floor will be the Van Daan home, the lower floor the Frank home. I know your space is tiny, Pater, but you'll be near your parents. Actually, I'm glad you brought your cat. Meep warns us there could be rats.
Rats? Oh my God.
I'm sure Mushi can take care of a few rats.
Now, may I help you with your things?
No, thank you. Come, Petronella. We'll go up to the attic and bring our dishes down. All of our boxes are up there.
Never can we thank you, Mr. Frank. I don't know what would have happened to us if it weren't for you.
Oh, you don't know how your husband helped me when I first came to Amsterdam. Knowing no one, unable to speak the language, I can never repay him for that. Besides, he's been an excellent business partner.
Well, that's true.
God, it's hot.
If you take that precious coat off for 1 minute, it'd feel a lot cooler.
You rest, Edith. You haven't closed your eyes since yesterday. Nor you, Margaret.
I slept, Father. Isn't that funny? Even though I knew it was the last night in my own bed.
You can sleep through anything. Now take your shoes off before you forget. You too, Pater. Shoes.
You're sure you're not too tired, Annika?
Mother, please. I'm fine. Hey, what are you doing?
Taking it off?
You can't do that. They'll arrest you if you go out without your star.
Who's going out? Now I don't have to be branded.
You're right. We don't need it anymore. Remember when it started? People tried to look the other way, but somehow their eyes always landed right there. Ugh, Mother sewed this on so tight.
The day they made me wear that star was the worst day of my life.
Look, it left a mark. Do you know Hannelie Goslar?
No,
Yobi Duval?
never heard of her.
Oh. But you heard of me?
Well, my father is your father's business partner.
You heard of me! You heard of me! I'm famous at my school!
That's true in a way.
What do you mean?
Anne! You mustn't bother Peter.
I'm not bothering him. Mooshie. Mooshie, mooshie.
Tonight we'll have our first real supper here together.
Thank you.
He's awfully shy.
You'll like him, I know.
I better. He's the only boy I'm going to see for Pim. My movie stars. You remembered. Oh, I'm going to put them up right away. Wait, where's my diary? Oh, okay. Uh-oh. I forgot to pack my pencils.
Anne! No. Weren't you listening to me? You can't go down those stairs.
But it was only for a pencil.
Never, Anne. This is what going into hiding means. One mistake could cost us all our lives.
I know, Father.
But remember, every day Meep and Mr. Crawler will bring us food, books, their precious company. They're friends, Anne. That's rare these days. If the Nazis found out they were hiding us, they'd be deported too.
Your fountain pen.
Your fountain pen now.
Oh, Pim, what a darling you are.
All those bags of beans and potatoes, is that what we're going to be eating every night? Not much variety, is there?
Oh, don't listen to her. What she can do with beans and potatoes. My wife's a great cook.
Lucky for us.
Oh, even with beans. You'll see. Boy, am I going to miss those gourmet meals.
Putty, stop exaggerating.
The women seem content, don't they?
You never can tell with women, but I think we'll be all right.
Good. Mrs. Van Daan, we'll meet here at 6 and start preparing supper.
6 o'clock, yes.
Come away from the kitchen, Petronella. The workmen will be here any moment.
Maybe it was a mistake, Otto, all of us going into hiding together. They say it's better for families to separate. That way, if we're betrayed or caught, then...
It's a perfect hiding place. The children would never have understood it if we had separated. They couldn't have borne it. No more than we. Come, we must be quiet now.
Margaret, are you all right?
I'm still shaking. Feel my hands.
Don't worry. We're here now. They can't take you away.
Yes, we're here.
Und wir, dass wir nun einzutreten entschlossen sind, bis zum letzten Hauch. Dieses Deutschland, der deutschen Volksgemeinschaft aller deutschen Stämme, das Großdeutsche Reich, Sieg heil! Sieg heil!
the silence that frightens me most. Every time I hear a creak in the house or a step on the street, I'm sure they're coming for us. I wander from room to room, feeling like a songbird whose wings have been ripped off and keeps hurling itself against the bars of its dark cage. Let me out, where there's fresh air and laughter. But then I remember the Jews who are not in hiding, and I know we live in a paradise. We're as quiet as baby mice. Who would have dreamed 2 months ago that Quicksilver Anne would have to sit still for hours, and what's more, could? Last.
What were you writing in there that was so funny? Nothing about me, I hope. Can't I take a peek?
No, Mrs. Van Dam.
Not even a little peek?
Not even a little peek, Mrs. Van Dam.
All right, fine. I'm first for the WC.
Has anyone seen my shoes?
Shoes?
You took them, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're gonna be sorry.
Am I?
Absolutely.
Anne!
Wait till I get you.
I'm waiting! I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting! Here. Oh, you're strong. But you won't get them away from me. You didn't think I was so strong, did you? Uh-oh. I'm making you mad. You're really getting mad now, aren't you?
Anne! Hater!
Come on, Pater. Dance with me.
I don't know how.
I'll teach you.
I don't want any lessons.
Please?
I have to give Mushi his dinner.
Can I watch?
He doesn't like people around when he eats.
I'll be quiet. Quiet as a little mouse. He likes mice, doesn't he?
No!
Anne, I don't think you should play with Pater like that. It's not dignified.
Who cares if it's dignified? I don't want to be dignified.
You complain I don't treat you like a grown-up, but when I do, you resent it.
I just want to have some fun. What's wrong with that boy?
He's not used to girls, especially a girl like our Annika. Give him time.
How much time does he need? Come on, Margaret, you dance with me.
I have to help with supper.
Oh, come on, if we don't practice, we'll forget how.
All right, all right.
See, everyone? Margaret's the real dancer in the family. Him.
Ah, dancing. Where's Pater?
In his room.
His father will kill him if he catches him in there with that cat again. Anne, darling, do me a favor and go get Pater out of his room for me.
Pater! Pater!
What is it?
Your mother says to come out.
You know what your father says.
I'll feed Mushi.
All right, but go in, feed him, and come right out.
Is that any way to talk to your little girlfriend?
Mother, for heaven's sakes.
Oh, look, he's blushing.
You're crazy. She's only 13.
So, you're 16. Your father's older than I am. I tell you, Mr. Frank, if this war lasts much longer, we're liable to be related. Oh, I think I have a run here.
Some run.
God, I hate them.
Good evening, everyone. I wish I could stay for dinner, but I have no social graces. In fact, I'm so
All right,
shy
I heard
barely
about
get
you.
a-
How you talked so much in class, Mr. Keesing called you Miss Quack Quack and made you write a composition. Quack, quack, quack was Miss Quack Quack.
Well, go on, tell them the rest. How it was so good he read it out loud to the class, and then read it to all his other classes.
I know about you. Always joking.
I don't always
Always
joke.
making fun of people. Quack, quack, quack.
I don't always... You're the most infuriating boy I've ever met!
That's right, Anne. You give it to him.
All the boys in the world, I had to get locked up!
Quack, 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 and from now on, stay out of my room.
Anne!
Anne. Excellent in history. And in Latin.
Meep's not here yet?
The workmen just left a little while ago.
What's for dinner?
Beans.
Again? I saw you in there playing with that cat.
He only went in for a second. He's been out here all afternoon working on his French.
Really?
How did I do in algebra?
I think we both better give up on algebra.
How did I do?
How do you always do? Brilliant.
Very good, though you might have used the subjunctive here.
Are you sure?
Mrs. Van Dam, may I try on your coat?
Anne. Of course. My father bought this coat for me the year before he died. He always bought the best money could buy.
Did you have a lot of boyfriends before you were married?
Anne, it's not courteous to ask personal questions.
Why not? I had a throng of admirers who couldn't keep their eyes off me.
Our house was always swarming with boys. I remember the summer I was 16.
Oh, God, here we go again.
Who's talking to you? We had a big house back in Bremerhaven. Those boys came buzzing like bees in a honey pot. My father was always very worried about me with all those boys. He always told me, if any of them gets fresh with you, you tell them, remember, Mr. So-and-so, remember, I'm a lady.
Remember, Mr. So-and-so, remember, I'm a lady.
Very good. All right, that's enough.
What have you got to write about that's so important all the time? How much does a 13-year-old have to say?
Just because someone's young doesn't mean they don't have anything to say, Mr. Van Dam.
Please, can't I have any privacy?
Petronella, can you tell me what could possibly be so private?
Oh, you know how it is at that age, Putty. Everything's private, even brushing your teeth.
I just hope she doesn't write anything about me in that private diary of hers.
Don't be ridiculous, really, Putty. You can be so childish sometimes.
Haven't you finished your French yet? You ought to be ashamed.
I know. I'm a hopeless case.
You are not hopeless. He is not hopeless. He just doesn't have anyone to help him like the girls do. Maybe you could help him, Mr. Frank.
Oh, I'm sure his father.
Oh, no, not me. He won't listen to me.
What do you say, Peter?
Oh, Mr. Frank, you're an angel. I don't know why I didn't meet you before I met that one over there.
Come, Peter, show me which chapter you're on.
You listen to Mr. Frank, Pater. Mr. Frank is a highly educated man.
Aren't things hard enough without you sprawling all over the place?
You know, if you didn't smoke so much, you wouldn't be so ill-tempered.
Am I smoking? Do you see me smoking?
Don't tell me you used up all those cigarettes.
One package. Meep only brought me one package.
Well, it's a filthy habit. It's a good time to break it.
Oh, stop it.
You're smoking up all our money. You know that, don't you?
Shut up! What are you staring at?
Well, I never heard grown-ups quarrel like that before. I thought only children quarreled, and it wore off when you grew up.
This isn't a quarrel. It's a discussion. And I never heard children so rude before.
Rude? Well, I don't know how
Anne,
you
dear,
can-
Anne, will you please go get me my knitting? I must remember to ask Meep to get me some more wool.
I have a library book for her to return, and I need some hairpins and soap.
Oh, please, Meep, get me some starch, some tea, some biscuits, a movie star magazine. Tell us all the latest news, Meep. It's a wonder Meep has a life of her own. Did you know she's engaged to someone called Jan? She's crazy about him, but she's terrified the Nazis will pick him up and send him to a war plant. That's what they're doing with all the young Dutchmen these days.
Suppose try keeping still for just 5 minutes.
Anne, come have your milk.
Talk, talk, talk. Chatter, chatter, chatter. It's a wonder we haven't been arrested and shot. Why do you have to show off all the time? Why can't you be quiet like your sister Margaret? Be a good girl.
Not me. I'm going to be remarkable. I'm going to Paris.
Really?
I'm going to be a famous writer, or singer, or dancer one day.
Oh my God! My beautiful fur coat!
I'm sorry.
Do you know how much my father paid for this coat? Look at it!
Very, very sorry.
I could kill you for this!
Petronella.
Anne, you can't behave like that. It was an accident. Anyone can have an accident. I'm not just talking about the coat. I know we're all under great stress, but you don't hear Margaret getting into arguments with the Van Dans, do you? Margaret's perfect. She never gets into an argument with anyone.
I'm not perfect.
She's courteous. She keeps her distance, and they respect her for it. Try to be more like Margaret. To have them walk over me, too? No thanks.
They don't walk over me.
Oh, yes, they do. All over you.
I'm not afraid they're going to walk over you, Anne. I'm afraid you'll walk all over them. I don't know what happens to you. If I had ever talked to my mother the way you talk to
Mother,
me...
no, Mother. Anything you say, Mother. People aren't like that anymore. I can't do everything for you.
Margaret doesn't do everything.
Margaret, that's all I ever hear.
Oh, Anne, don't be so dramatic.
Everything she does is right, and everything I do is wrong. If I talk, I'm a show-off. If I answer, I'm rude. I'm selfish if I eat too much. I'm stupid. I'm cowardly. I'm a complete disappointment. I'll never live up to your expectations. I'll never be Margaret.
I don't know how we can go on living like this.
You know, Anne. In a few minutes, she'll be laughing and joking again.
No room, no privacy for any of us. Ugh. Those people, the way they behave. And your father chooses to shut his eyes to these things. I can't even remember how life used to be.
Meep.
Meep, our darling Meep.
At last.
It's me. Does everyone have their list?
I have.
Meep never fails us, does she, darling? Now you'll get your library book.
Oh, that air. What's it like, me? Outside?
How are you, Mr. Crawler?
Where did you go today? Who did you see? Did anyone interesting come into the office?
When Meep comes, the sun begins to shine.
We missed you yesterday, Mr. Crawler.
Tell us, me. We want to know everything.
Won't you stay for supper?
Thank you, but there's something we have to discuss with you. Something that has to be decided immediately.
What?
Every time we come, we try to bring a bit of good news. Up here, you can't realize just how bad things have become outside.
There's a dentist, Alfred Dussel. He's Jewish. He's been living with a Christian woman, and today he asked if I knew of a hiding spot. He's desperate for a safe address. I told him I would let him know.
Of course, Meep. Absolutely. Dussel. I believe we know him.
Oh, it's great news, me.
Yes, but where are we going to put him? There's barely enough room here for us.
Oh, forgive me. I spoke without consulting you.
Yes,
I'm sure.
You're right. It's just there's so little food.
Mr. Van Dan, I've tried. There's no more ration books to be had.
Where 7 can eat, 8 can eat as well.
I hope so.
If we can save even one person, we must.
Yes. You're right, of course.
Yes, definitely.
Mr. Crawler will go to get him. I will bring him up.
Tomorrow.
It's fine to have him, but where are we going to put him?
You can have my room. I'll sleep on the floor.
That's very kind, Pater, but there's hardly enough room in there for you.
I know. I can move in with you and Mother, and Mr. Dussel can have my bed.
No. Margaret will move in with us, and Mr. Dussel can have her bed. It's the only way.
But why? Why can't I move in?
Because it wouldn't be proper for Margaret to... Please, Anne, don't argue. It's settled.
As far as I'm concerned, Mother can go jump in a lake. I don't know why I've taken such a terrible dislike to her.
But I can imagine her dying someday. While Daddy's death seems inconceivable to me.
very mean of me, I know. That's how I feel. I hope Mother will never read this, or anything else I've written. She's not a mother to me. I have to mother myself. If only Nana were here. She always stuck up for me. Who can I turn to for comfort now? Only my diary. You know, sometimes I think God is trying to test me. I'll have to become a good person on my own, without anyone to advise me. But it'll make me stronger in the end. 3.5 months at the annex, and we're eagerly awaiting our latest edition. What will he be like? Meep says he's quiet, refined, and by all accounts an excellent dentist. He's meeting Mr. Crawler at 11 sharp this morning at a certain place in front of the post office. It's all very exciting and totally nerve-wracking. What if they get caught? Those last few hours on the way to safety are the most dangerous for a Jew going into hiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's done.
Everything went smoothly. Mr. Dussel was at the appointed place at the appointed time. He had to wear Jan's coat over his office jacket so no one would see the yellow star when he came into our building. He was amazed to be brought to the center of Amsterdam, rather than into the country where so many hiding places are. Of course, he had no idea we were right upstairs, waiting for him.
I'm dreaming. Mr. Frank. Mr. Otto Frank. I heard you were in Switzerland. A patient of mine told me you'd escaped to Basel, or Belgium, or someplace.
That's what everyone thinks. The Nazis included, we hope.
We tricked them.
We're so glad you've come, Mr. Dussel.
All of us are.
How can I thank you?
Oh, not us. Meep and Mr. Crawler.
Without them, we couldn't live.
Aren't you scared, Meep? Sometimes.
Oh, we're not heroes.
Meep, you're too modest.
We just don't like the Nazis. Anything about them.
Come, Mr. Dussel, please sit down. You must be exhausted.
Let's all have a little toast to Mr. Dussel.
Cognac. We were saving it in case of illness, but...
What better way to use it? To Mr. Dussel, we're honored to have you with us.
Prost.
Prost.
Delicious. Too bad there's so little of it.
I believe we know someone in common, Mr. Dussel.
Ah?
Dr. Kinsler. We were friends back in the old days in Frankfurt. What? What is it?
Dr. Kinsler was taken last month. Beethovenstraat. They took the whole block.
What is happening outside?
Tell us, Mr. Dussel.
All over Amsterdam, Jews are disappearing. Some are torn out of their beds in the middle of the night. My God. The screams. Children come home from school to find their parents gone. Women come back from shopping to find their families vanished. It's impossible to escape unless you go into hiding. Thousands are being deported. The Blumbergs, Professor Hollenstein.
Oh, God. No.
You have 5 minutes to get ready. Take only what you can carry in a rucksack. Herd it into the Jewish theater for days, sometimes weeks, and then Westerbork, the transit camp. From there, like clockwork, every Tuesday, a train leaves for the east.
Mr. Dussel, do you know the Goslars? Their daughter Hennelie and I have been friends since we were 4. They didn't come for them, did they? No, not Hennelie. Did they? Oh.
No!
I'm sure Mr. Dussel would like to rest before supper, Edith. I'm sorry we can't offer you your own room. I trust you won't mind sharing one with my daughter.
Forgive me for upsetting you.
You had to tell us. We had to know.
Anne, why don't you show Mr. Dussel your room?
Meep, thank you for everything.
All he said. So terrible. So different from what Mr. Crawler's been telling us.
I like it better the way Crawler tells it.
Well, here we are.
Ah, it isn't very big, is it?
I've never shared a room with a man before. I hope I'll be a suitable companion. I know you'll miss the woman you live with terribly.
Charlotte and I have never been apart. It all happened so quickly. I couldn't tell her where I was going. I didn't know myself.
You weren't supposed to. None of our friends knew. It would have been too dangerous. Not just for us, for them, and for Charlotte.
You're a very bright young lady. I hope you'll bear with me.
I hope you'll bear with me. I seem to irritate everyone around here. What's she like? Your Charlotte?
Charming. Beautiful. You'd like her. She's not Jewish, you know.
Oh, I know. Meek told us. Well, that's my bed. And this is Margaret's, where you'll be sleeping. I know it's small and dark in here, but if you peek through the blackout curtain, you'll see the most beautiful chestnut tree in the world. I can't wait till it's in blossom. Though, I hope the war will be over by then, and we'll all be home. I was wondering about the room. Margaret always had it in the afternoons, and I had it in the mornings. Would that be all right with you?
Actually, I'm not at my best in the morning.
Oh, then you take the mornings, and I'll take the afternoons. Did you bring your dental equipment? I can't wait to see it. I love those little mirrors. Will you be filling all our cavities?
It's not easy being a dentist, you know. Children don't understand that.
What do you mean?
No one likes to go to the dentist. Everyone makes fun of dentists. But believe me, it's no fun for us. Everyone hates us.
That's awful.
Tell me something. When you're in here, where do I go? In there with all those people?
And Mushi.
Who's Mushi?
Pater's cat.
Cat? No one mentioned a cat to me. He has it here?
Oh, you'll love Mushi. He's the sweetest cat in the world.
I hate cats. They're terrifying. They give me asthma.
Well, don't worry. Pater keeps him locked in his room all the time.
I hope so. By the way, Mr. Crawler spoke of a schedule.
Oh, it's mainly about when we have to be quiet and when we can use the WC. You can use it right now if you like.
No, thank you.
You don't know how important the WC can be when you're in hiding, especially when you're scared.
I understand. If you don't mind, I think I'll lie down before supper. It helps with the digestion.
You rest, Mr. Dussel. I'll try to make you feel at home.
Good evening. This is Colin Rees-Parker with the BBC Radio Europe. November 12th. German forces yesterday entered unoccupied France. Acting quickly, in an attempt to counter the sweeping Allied gains along the southern shore of the Mediterranean, Hitler sent armored columns and infantry to occupy Vichy, France. The Vichy regime thereby came to an end, and with it, the final pretense that part of France was a free zone.
I couldn't sleep tonight, even after Father tucked me in and said my prayers with me. I feel wicked sleeping in a warm bed when my friends are at the mercy of the cruelest monsters ever to walk the earth. And all because they're Jews. We assume most of them are murdered. The BBC says they're being gassed. Perhaps that's the quickest way to die. Fine specimens of humanity, those Germans. And to think I'm actually one of them. No. That's not true. Hitler took away our nationality long ago. No matter what I'm doing, I can't help thinking about those who are gone. All we can do is wait for the war to end. The whole world is waiting, and many are waiting for death.
These nightmares, Mrs. Frank, they're getting worse. I don't sleep anymore. I spend half my night shushing her. Every night, Mrs. Frank. Every night. She's putting us all in danger.
Please, Mr. Dussel, go back to bed. She'll be all right in a little while. It's all right.
What is it?
Another nightmare.
Sounded like someone was murdering her.
Shall I get you some water? It was a bad dream, wasn't it, my angel? Do you want to tell me about it? Sometimes it helps to...
Thank you, Mother.
All right. I'll sit right here until you go back.
I'd rather you didn't.
I see. Good night, then.
Could you ask Father to come in, please?
Edith.
It's all right, Otto. Go to her. She's still trembling.
It's a phase.
You weren't like this.
I'm more like you. It's not that she doesn't love you.
Oh, Pim, I dreamt they broke through the bookcase and took us all away. The train was so, Pim. The train going to the east. Did I yell terribly loud? Do you think anyone heard outside? I know what you're thinking, but I can't help the way I feel. I just don't love her.
Anne!
We just don't get along. I hate being cooped up with her. I don't get along with anyone here. Oh, Pim, my nightmares. I know everyone hates me for having them, but I can't stop them from coming.
We are all having nightmares. Only you let them out. Your mother has them too. Horrible ones. She's having a very hard time.
I know. I'm trying to change. I have another side, a better, finer side. But it's as if I'm split in half. What's good and what's bad, Pim? I don't know. I want to be a better person, but not if it means shutting myself off and hiding what I feel.
I understand. Oh, we've always understood each other, you and I. You know, you taught me something the day we came here.
Me?
Remember the day we arrived? How numb Margaret and your mother were? I was a wreck with worry, but you... That horrible morning, you skipped around the room calling it an adventure. In that moment, you showed me you could escape. Now when I read my Dickens, it takes me into another world. In that world, I feel safe. You have something too. A diary. When I see you fill it up, I know you found your world in there. You're lucky, Anne.
Lucky?
You can write. You can put all your thoughts down on paper.
House is shaking.
It's all right, Anne. The more planes, the sooner the war will end.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, ulenu v'al kol Yisrael emecho.
Tonight, after the radio broadcast, Pim asked what was the first thing we wanted to do once we're liberated. For me, I'd be so thrilled I wouldn't know where to begin. I longed to be back in school with my friends, ride a bike, swim, whistle, laugh so hard it hurts. I wonder if anyone will ever not think about whether I'm Jewish and just see me as a teenager, badly in need of some good plain fun. Margaret said,
I want to go dancing, learn the latest step and fly all over the room in a new pair of dancing shoes.
The movies. I'd love to go to the movies. That is, if they ever decide to let us in again.
I'm longing for a real cup of coffee with cream and sugar. No, a whole potful.
A bath. A hot bath in a bathtub. Sitting there luxuriating for hours. And then Putty comes in and soaps my bath.
And Putty said,
Cream cakes. First thing out of here, I'm going to Burkhoff's for cream cakes.
Charlotte, just to look at her, listen to her, for hours.
You know what I want? To pack a picnic lunch and take my family to the seashore. For the whole day.
What a beautiful menorah, Mr. Van Dam.
That was very moving.
oh, it's not over yet. There's still the song and presents.
Not this year.
And no potato pancakes either.
Oh, don't remind me.
I make the best latkes you ever tasted.
Please, I can't bear it.
Invite us all next year.
What's in there, darling?
Presents. Margaret, read yours out loud.
You never lose your temper. You never will, I fear. You're just so good, but if you should, put all your crosswords here. A new crossword puzzle book.
No, it's not new. It's yours. I rubbed it all out. But if you wait a while and forget, you can do it all over again.
Oh, Anne, it's wonderful.
For Mrs. Van Dam.
How beautiful. What is it?
Shampoo. I took all the tiny pieces of soap and I mixed them with the last of my perfume.
How sweet. Thank you, Anne.
This was all Anne's idea.
For Mr. Van Dam, this is really something you want more than anything in the world.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait. What can it be? A cigarette.
Pim found some old pipe tobacco in the pocket lining of his coat, and we made it. Well, Pim did. But it's real tobacco, I promise.
Thank you, Anne. I mean it, truly.
For Mother.
Here's an IOU I promise to pay. 10 hours of doing whatever you say.
Boy, I wish I had that little slip of paper. 10 hours? You wouldn't consider selling it, would you, Mrs. Frank?
Never. It's the best present I've ever had.
For Pim.
Anne, I'm not supposed to get anything. Oh.
I made it out of every bit of wool I could find. No one helped me, not even Margaret, not even Mother. I knitted it in the dark after I got into bed.
And after writing in that diary of hers, keeping me up half the night. Just kidding.
I'm afraid it looks better in the dark.
It looks perfect to me. Thank you, Annika. I shall treasure it.
For Mushi.
Oh, Anne, the ribbons from your ballet shoes.
Well, they don't fit anymore anyway.
On behalf of Mushi, thank you. It's very kind of you.
And from Miss Quack Quack. Go ahead, open it.
You sure nothing's gonna jump out and bite me?
What is it?
A razor. Meep got it for me. It's secondhand, but you really do need one now.
What for?
Look at his upper lip. There's a little something growing there.
There is. We'll put a little milk on it and let the cat lick it off.
Think you're funny, do you? Well, I like it. Thanks, Anne.
And last but never least, my roommate, Mr. Dussel.
You got something for me, Anne? Capsules. 2 capsules. Not poison, I hope.
Earplugs, so you won't hear me thrashing around at night. I made them out of cotton and candle wax. Go ahead, try them, see if they work. Are you ready?
What?
Are you ready?
Oh my goodness, they've gone inside my head. Help, help. I was joking. Thank you, Anne.
I love my present, Anne.
I don't know how she
Wasn't
did
it
it.
darling of her?
A real Hanukkah after all.
One more present.
What?
Just one.
Who for? Show us.
For your mother. For tonight.
My music box. Oh, Otto, how did you get it?
I saved it for you. I was hoping we wouldn't be here till Hanukkah, but I brought it just in case.
This goes all the way back to my great-grandmother. Your father's an angel for saving it.
Why didn't you save anything of mine?
I saved you, didn't I?
Listen.
Look, Mushi loves his present.
Peter, he'll give me asthma.
What's the matter with you? Get that cat out of here.
Cat? What cat?
It doesn't have to be the cat. His clothes are enough.
Don't worry. We're getting rid of it.
Finally you listen to me.
It's not for you, Dussel. I'm just sick of all those damn fleas. Out it goes.
Mr. Van Dan, you can't do that.
That's Peter's cat. Peter loves that cat.
If he goes, I go.
So go. Go.
He's not going, and the cat's not going either. Put the sweater away, Peter. Come, Mr. Dussel. This is Hanukkah, a time of celebration. Girls, sing the song.
Matzur Yeshuasi Lechana Elishabea Tikon Bestefilasi Veshoto.
God almighty. Do you hear anything?
I think they've gone.
The Gestapo?
If it were the Gestapo, they'd be up here by now.
Maybe it was a thief. I'm going down.
No, Father, someone wants to be there.
Oh, where's our money, Putty? Maybe we could buy them off.
Keep still.
Are we just going to wait here and let them drag us away? Do something.
Would you keep still?
Someone go get Father.
Quiet. Sit down.
Go. Please go.
Quiet, everyone.
It was a thief.
How do you know?
He took the cash box and ran off in such a hurry he left the front door wide open. The noise must have scared him off. The danger's past. We're safe.
Maybe, but now we're in even greater danger.
Mr. Dussel, please.
Now someone knows we're up here!
Wait a minute. Why are you pointing at him? It was an accident. It could have happened to any one of us.
You mean to tell me you think a thief is going to go to the green police and say I was robbing a place the other night and I heard a noise above my head? You think a thief is going to say that?
Yes, I do.
Well, you're crazy.
I think one day he's gonna get caught and make a bargain with the green police. If he tells them where some Jews are hiding, they'll let him off. Maybe even reward him. You know what Meep said? 7.5 guilders for each Jew found in hiding.
He's right.
Father, we can't stay here anymore. Let's go. Let's just go.
Go?
Go where?
Into the street.
No one's leaving. We can't panic. If we panic, we're lost. We've survived here for 6 months together. We're going on. Girls, the song, please.
Sometimes I see myself alone, in a dungeon, without father and mother. Or I'm roaming the streets, or the annex is on fire, or they come in the middle of the night to take us away. And I know it could all happen soon. I see the 8 of us in the annex as if we were a patch of blue sky surrounded by menacing black clouds. The perfectly round spot on which we stand is still safe. The clouds are moving in on us, and the ring between us and the approaching danger is being pulled tighter and tighter. We're surrounded by darkness and danger, and in our desperate search for a way out, we keep bumping into each other. We look at the fighting down below and the peace and beauty above, but we're cut off by the dark mass of clouds and can neither go up nor down. It looms before us, an impenetrable wall trying to crush us, but not yet able to. I can only cry out and implore, "Oh, ring, ring, open wide and let us out!" Saturday, January 1st, 1944. Another new year has begun, and we're in the middle of the great terror known as winter. We've been here 1 year, 5 months, and 25 days. We're all thinner, paler, and a lot hungrier. We've been plagued by medical problems. Everyone's always suffering from something. And although we can't call a doctor, our favorite dentist is never too far away.
I'm almost done, Mrs. Van Daan. If you can just hold on a little longer.
How can I? You're killing me!
If you'd stop complaining, perhaps I could finish sooner.
All right, I'll try.
Mrs. Van Daan, please. You've got my instrument stuck in your tooth.
No, hold it out!
Stop moving. You're making it go in even further.
There, look. I got it.
I'm lucky. I've been healthy. In fact, I've been growing. So much I don't fit into my shoes anymore. Not to speak of anything else. And there's another change. Something happening inside me. Each time I get my period, and it's only been 3 times, I have the feeling that even with all the discomfort, I have a sweet secret. And I long for the time when I'll feel that secret within me again. Sometimes, when I lie in bed at night, I feel a terrible urge to touch my breasts and listen to the steady beating of my heart. Once when I was spending the night at Yopi's, I could no longer restrain my curiosity about her body, which she always kept hidden from me. I asked her whether, as proof of our friendship, we could touch each other's breasts. She refused. I also had a terrible desire to kiss her, which I did. Every time I see a female nude, such as the Venus in my art history book, I go into ecstasy. Sometimes I find them so exquisite I have to struggle to hold back my tears. And there's something else. Peter. Whenever he looks at me with those eyes, I get this feeling.
Me.
Meep, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You really should have at least one day to yourself, but we're so glad that you've come.
Oh, Meep, you smell like the wind itself.
How are you, Anne?
I wonder if you'd mind taking this letter for me. For Charlotte. For the new year.
Of course.
Miepchen?
Are you feeling any better, Margaret?
A little.
Well, perhaps this will make you feel better.
Look, Putty, the cake. The cake.
Cake. I'll get plates.
Meep, your special spice cake?
Spice cake, exactly. Your favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
Spice cake. Oh, Meep, what a treat. You must have used up all your rations for the week.
How sweet. And look, she wrote peace in 1944.
Last year it was peace in 1943.
Well, it has to come sometime, doesn't it?
Let's pray it will.
Here's the knife, Petronella. Now, how many of us are there?
None for me, thank you.
Oh, but you must.
Well, that leaves 7 of us.
8. 8. The same number as it always is.
I took it for granted Margaret wouldn't have a piece.
Why not?
I don't think a piece of cake would harm her.
I just didn't want her to start coughing again. 8, 8. All right.
And please, Mrs. Frank should cut the cake. Mrs. Frank divides things better.
What are you saying? Don't I always give everyone exactly the same?
Yes, yes, everyone always gets exactly the same. Except Mr. Van Daan always gets a little bit more.
No, wait just a minute!
Please! Please! Meep, you see how a little spice cake goes to our heads?
Here, Mrs. Frank. You cut.
Oh, that smell. Meep, you're sure you won't have a piece?
No, thank you. I have to be leaving in a minute.
It looks delicious, Meep.
Meep. Meep and Jan is lucky to get a woman who can bake like this.
Oh, Jan. Tell us about Jan.
Well, Jan's taking me to a party tonight.
A party. Oh, Meep, you must remember everything, so you can tell us about it tomorrow.
Tell us everyone you dance with.
With Jan, only with Jan. Oh, I seem to have forgotten something for someone.
For me?
What? What is it? Come on, I can't stand the suspense.
Oh my. Meep, where did you find them?
You can't even get a sliver on the black market these days.
Look, they match. Incredible.
All grown up, ready for Hollywood.
Enjoy the man. And don't worry, I'll give you all a full report tomorrow.
Meep, there's something I'd like you to do for me.
What are you talking about, Putty?
You know what I'm talking about.
What is it?
He wants to sell her fur coat.
No. Don't do this to me, Putty. This is my coat. I've had this coat for 17 years. My father gave me this coat. You have no right. Don't you dare. Let go.
You have to give it up.
Let go of it, please.
You can't hold on to a fur coat when people are in such desperate need of warm clothing. Besides, we're broke. We've been running out of money for months. I have to sell it.
Mrs. Frank?
Oh, Meep. I remember when a new year was something to look forward to.
Mrs. Frank, you mustn't give up hope.
There's no hope to be had. I know that. I knew it the night Hitler came to power, when that voice came screaming out of the radio. I sat there paralyzed. And now in London, what is the Dutch Queen doing? What are they all doing? Nothing. They're not even mentioning the word Jew.
The trains are still leaving. Why don't they bomb the tracks?
I can't talk about this with the others, Meep.
I understand, Mrs. Frank.
I know they're making plans, counting down the days till the war is over. But I have to tell you, I feel the end will never come. Sometimes I want to give myself up.
Forgive me for saying this, Mrs. Frank, but you must try and take things a little easier. They need you. The children need you.
I'm ashamed to feel this way. I know you and Mr. Crawler have it just as hard.
Oh, Mrs. Frank, we don't.
Thank you for listening to me.
Non, ce n'est pas ce que tu penses.
Pense. Mr. Dussel, pense. From penser, to think. Ce que vous ne faites pas beaucoup.
What?
Ce que vous ne faites pas beaucoup.
You're going too fast.
Oui, je sais.
Je sais. I know that one.
Bon. Continuons. La prochaine page, s'il vous plaît. Here.
I just don't understand. I would never have done anything like that to you.
The coat was 17 years old, for God's sake. Those skins had definitely seen their day.
That's not the point, and you know it.
I know we need the money. We have no money. Can you get that through your head?
Don't talk to her like that.
You've never understood anything.
Oh, God, here we go again.
That coat was the last thing. A whole world gone.
Well, you've still got us, haven't you?
You took the last memory of my father away.
Do we have to hear about your father again? If you hadn't been so attached to your father, the coat, the apartment with all our goddamn possessions in it, we'd be in America by now.
It's not her fault.
It was you too, you know. You didn't want to go.
I only stayed because of you. Believe me, I knew which way the winds were blowing.
Oh, sure, you always know everything.
Mother, please,
Your mother
stop.
will never listen.
If I could just say
No,
one
you
thing.
cannot. You say too much already. It's none of your business anyway.
You shouldn't have said that, Mother.
What?
You've hurt her feelings.
Oh, well, I apologize, all right? I apologize to everyone.
You left this.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about what happened in there. I wish I could have said something. But they make me feel so... I can't stand it when they... You know, sometimes I wish I just didn't belong to them at all. I just hope I'm never like them.
You won't be. I know it.
Like him. What if I'm like him?
You're not. Believe me.
I don't know. All I can say, if it wasn't for you... I mean, you're always a big help to me.
I am. How?
When you're cheerful, it keeps me from feeling depressed.
I'm not always so cheerful, you know, inside.
Really?
It's hard. If you want to cry or something, there's nowhere to go.
It's easier for me, I guess. If there's a fight, you know, with my parents, I just duck into my room.
You're lucky, having a room of your own.
Well, at least you can talk to your parents.
Not really. I can never discuss anything serious with Mother. She just doesn't understand. I can talk about anything with Father, except Mother. I don't think you can really be intimate with someone if they hold something back. Do you?
I think your father's terrific.
He likes you too.
You think so?
Oh, I can tell from the little things he says. It's funny, isn't it?
What?
Well, we've been living here for almost a year and a half, and this is the first time we've really talked.
I know what you mean.
You know something, Pater?
What?
I've never really had a friend.
Not someone I could truly confide in.
Me neither.
The sun is shining, the sky a deep blue. There's a magnificent breeze, and I'm longing, so longing for everything. I walk from room to room, breathe through the crack in the window frame, feel my heart beating as if to say, "Can't you fulfill this longing at last?" I long for every boy, and to Peter I want to shout, "Say something! Don't just smile all the time, touch me, so I can get that delicious feeling inside." I feel spring within me. I feel spring awakening. I can feel it in my entire body and soul. I'm utterly confused. I don't know what to read, to write, to do. I only know I am longing. March 29th, 1944. We've had to cut down even further on food. The rats have gobbled up some of our precious supplies. They must be desperate too. Our mouths are watering for anything edible. All we've had to eat this week is pickled kale and rotten potatoes. You wouldn't believe how much kale can stink when it's a few years old.
What is it tonight?
Don't ask.
I have to. I have to be prepared.
I can't eat this again.
Something wrong, Mr. Dissel? You try cooking for a change instead of insulting my wife.
I think you prepared the kale very well, Mrs. Van Dam. I don't know how you do it.
Mr. Frank, always the soul of politeness.
Every night another miracle.
Careful, Mr. Dissel. We don't want to clog the pipes like last week.
Putty, please. What's wrong, Margaret? You're not eating. Eat. You have to eat.
I'm not hungry.
If she doesn't want it, Peter will eat it.
Come, Margaret. Just take a bite.
I can't. I just can't.
She eats like a bird. Look at her, every day a smaller bird. I'm sorry, Margaret. I'm doing the best I can.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Van Dam.
Anne's eating. Peter's eating.
How do you do it, Anne?
I pretend it's delicious, and don't look at it. Before I know it, it's gone.
Very wise, Annika.
I eat because I'm hungry.
Margaret, you've got to force yourself. You're too thin.
She's not the only one. We're all famished.
Will this war ever be over?
This war would be over a lot sooner if the goddamned British would start
Please,
the invasion.
Not tonight.
The British are fighting for their lives.
They'll do something when the time is right.
When we're dead and buried, you mean? It's amazing how strong those Germans are.
Oh, it's amazing. Those Germans are so strong they're going to win the war. Is that what you mean?
They might. They very well might if the British don't get moving.
They're moving, for crying out loud. Aren't 3,000 tons of bombs dropped on Hamburg last Sunday enough for you?
No.
Well, how many bombs do you need?
Enough so I don't have to worry about going to Poland.
Hurry up, Mr. Dissel. Margaret's waiting.
Mr. Dissel, the
Please,
line
Mr.
is
Dissel,
forming
come out.
again.
Mr. Dussel!
Mr. Dussel, she can't wait any longer.
Come on, you have to come in.
You think I like spending my life in there?
Mr. Crawler.
I'm sorry to come up at this hour, but something's happened. Something serious.
What is it?
I must ask all of you to be more careful, more quiet.
What is it?
A man in the storeroom, Carl. A while ago he asked me, "What do you hear from Mr. Frank?" I said I'd heard a rumor you were in Switzerland. He said he'd heard that too, but thought I might know something more. I paid no attention, but today, signing some invoices he'd brought to the office, I looked up and saw him staring at the bookcase.
Oh my God.
He said he thought he remembered a door there. Then he said he wanted more money. 10 more guilders a month.
Blackmail.
10 guilders. Very modest blackmail.
It's just the beginning.
What did you tell him?
I told him I had to think about it. Should I pay him the money? Take a chance at firing him, or...
For heaven's sake, pay him the money.
Offer him half. We'll find out if it's blackmail or not.
Look, maybe he knows nothing, but it's getting more dangerous every day out there. No one can be trusted. You must be more quiet. More quiet. I'll offer him half then.
Thank you, Mr. Crawler.
We'll hope for the best.
Thank you.
Mother, don't be upset. I can't bear it, seeing you like this.
I'll be all right, Annika. Please go back to supper.
I'd rather stay here with you.
And now, a message from the Dutch Minister of Education.
History cannot be written on the basis of official documents alone. If our descendants are to understand what we as a nation have endured during these years, we need simple, everyday pieces: a diary, letters from a forced laborer in Germany.
At the end of such a terrible evening, something wonderful happened. Something amazing. Mr. Bolkestein, our cabinet minister, spoke on the Dutch broadcast from London. He said that a collection of diaries and letters would be made after the war. Just imagine how interesting it would be if I were to publish a novel called The Secret Annex. It could be based on my diary. I'll start revising it tomorrow. Unless you write yourself, you can't know how wonderful it is. When I write, I can shake off all my cares. But I want to achieve more than that. I want to be useful and bring enjoyment to all people, even those I've never met. I want to go on living even after my death.
Mr. Dussel's getting awfully impatient out there.
Let him. I'm always waiting for him.
Are you going up to the attic with Peter again? You've already spent so much time up there today.
I went up exactly twice. Once to practice French together, and once to get the potatoes for supper.
But you know Mrs. Van Daan. She's got a comment for everything.
She can't help herself. It's in her nature. I don't think it's Mrs. Van Daan that's upsetting you, though.
I'm not upset.
You're not jealous of Peter and me? I'd be insanely jealous if it were you instead of me.
Yes, I imagine you would be, but I'm not.
Aren't you, Margaret? Tell me the truth.
Oh, who wouldn't want someone to visit with every night? Have deep, serious conversations with? And who knows what else? Yes, I'm jealous. Oh, but not of you and Peter. I just like someone of my own. I'm happy you have someone.
You mean it?
I mean it. I want you to have a good time tonight, every night. You've already missed out on so much here.
Margaret, you're such a generous person. Anyway, maybe there's nothing to be jealous of. We don't do anything. I mean, he's never even kissed me.
The kiss will come.
I'm not sure I want it to.
You do. I know you. You can't help yourself. It's in your nature. Oh, wait. Let me fix your hair. There. Now you're ready.
I presume I may finally get back into my room.
Our room, dear Mr. Dussel. And yes, you may return.
Thank you so much.
Anne, again?
Again? And look at her.
It's cold in the attic. You'd better bundle up.
In my day, it was the boys who called on the girls.
Young people like to feel they have secrets. The attic's the only place where they can talk.
Talk? That's not what they called it in my day.
I think true love may be developing in our little annex.
If we're here much longer, we may even have a little annex wedding.
Frankly, I can't stand this stupid chatter another minute. Anne, don't forget to be down by 9.
They're so old-fashioned. I guess they don't realize how much more advanced we are.
You look nice.
Really?
I like the shoes. I've always liked the shoes.
Meep always does everything just right.
She seems to like you a lot.
I love her. But I hate having to ask for absolutely everything. Doesn't it make you miserable being so dependent on other people?
I'm not miserable. Anymore. I mean, even bumping into you on the stairs. Sometimes I feel
the same.
You know, you've changed. I used to think you were a real pain in the neck.
My life before seemed so unreal. I see myself then as an utterly superficial girl who has nothing to do with who I am now. I want to go back to being her for the world.
Sure know a lot about yourself. I guess it comes from all that writing you do.
I want to be a real writer one day. I know I can write. I'm my harshest critic. But who knows if I truly have talent or not? What do you want to do?
No, I don't know. Something that doesn't take much brains. Maybe if I had your drive,
That's ridiculous.
No, it's true. Well, I'm a complete idiot.
You're too hard on yourself.
I didn't have much going for me on the outside.
Maybe if you'd gone to my school. Oh, Peter, I miss so many things, don't you? Sometimes I dream I'm back in our old apartment. I wake up and I don't know where I am. And I wonder, why can't I just run outside? Oh, you can see the moon from here, just like you said. How beautiful. Look at our attic. The moonlight coming in.
Are you cold?
No. Well, maybe just a little.
Here.
Peter, have you ever kissed a girl?
I guess so.
You have? When?
It wasn't a big deal or anything.
Tell me.
It was my birthday. I was blindfolded. I didn't even know who the girl was.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being kissed or anything. Though I'm sure Margaret would never kiss a boy unless she were engaged to him. And I know Mother never touched a man before she met Pim. My girlfriends would say, "Oh, Anne, how terribly shocking." But who cares what they'd say anyway? Everything's different now. Here.
You called it our attic before. Do you really think it's ours?
Yes.
You won't let them stop you from coming up here, will you?
No. I promise. Maybe I'll bring one of my stories and read it to you sometime.
You'll come tomorrow night?
If you want me to.
I do.
It's 9:05.
Well, I will then.
All Jews must be out of the German-occupied countries before July 1st. The province of Utrecht will be cleansed of Jews between April 1st and May 1st, and the provinces of North and South Holland immediately thereafter. Immediately thereafter. Immediately thereafter. Immediately thereafter. Immediately thereafter.
Otto, listen. The rat.
Edith, please, go back to sleep.
Oh my God, I don't believe it. The bread! He's stealing the bread!
No,
Otto,
quiet.
look!
Herman! For God's sake!
What's going on?
It's your husband stealing our bread.
It can't be. Putty, what are you doing?
Nothing.
It wasn't a rat. It was him.
Never before. Never before.
I don't believe you. If he steals once, he'll steal again. Every day I watch the children getting thinner, and he comes in the middle of the night and steals food that should go to them.
Edith, please.
Mama, it was only one piece of bread.
Here. Edith, he couldn't help himself. It could happen to any one of us.
I want them to go.
Go? Go where?
Anywhere.
You don't mean what you're saying.
I understand you, Mrs. Frank, but it really would be impossible
They
for them.
have to. I can't take it with them here.
Edith, you know how upset you've been
That
these
has nothing to do with it.
We're all under terrible strain. It won't happen again.
Never. I promise.
I want them to leave.
You'd put us on the street?
There are other hiding places. Meep will find you something. Don't worry about the money. I'll find you the money.
Mr. Frank, you told my husband you'd never forget what he did for you when you first came to Amsterdam.
If my husband had any obligation to you, it's paid for.
Edith! I've never seen you like this, for God's sake!
You can't throw Peter out. He hasn't done anything.
Peter can stay.
I wouldn't feel right without Father.
Mother, please. They'll be killed on the street.
Anne's right. You can't send them away.
They can stay until Meep finds them a place. But I don't want him near the food.
Let's divide it up right now.
No, we're not going to divide up some rotten potatoes.
Mrs. Frank, Mr. Frank,
Dussel,
Margaret,
please.
Anne,
Stop.
Peter,
No more.
Mrs. Van Dan,
No
Mr.
more,
Van
Mr.
Dan,
Dussel. I beg you.
myself,
I can't
Mrs.
take it.
Frank, Mr.
Stop!
Frank, Margaret, Anne,
Yes.
Peter,
What's happening?
Mrs.
Enough!
Van Dan, Mr. Van
Dussel,
Dan,
Margaret,
myself,
everyone
Mrs.
back to your
Frank,
rooms.
Mr. Frank,
Come, Edith.
Margaret, Anne,
Mr. Dussel, I think
Peter,
the potatoes can
Mrs.
wait.
Van Dan, Mr. Van Dan, myself.
Just let them wait! Meep, at this hour,
Everyone, the most incredible, wonderful news.
what is it?
The invasion has begun. Did you hear me? Did you hear what I said? The invasion, it's happening right now. I rushed to tell you before the workmen got here. You can feel it in the streets, the excitement. This is it. They've landed on the coast of Normandy.
The British?
British, Americans, more than 4,000 ships. Look, I brought a map.
For over a year, we've hoped for this moment.
Cherbourg, the first city, they're fighting for it now.
How long will it take them from Normandy to the Netherlands?
Edith, what did I tell you?
Cherbourg, Caen, Pont-l'Évêque, Paris, and then Amsterdam.
Hoodie.
Herman, didn't you hear what Meep said? We'll be free, soon.
People of Western Europe, a landing was made this morning on the coast of France by troops of the Allied Expeditionary Force. This landing is part of the concerted United Nations plan for the liberation of Europe.
That's General Eisenhower.
Made in conjunction with our great Russian allies.
Margaret, the liberation. Home. This means we could be going home.
I don't even know what home would be like anymore. I can't imagine it. We've been away for so long.
I can imagine every little detail. Just to be outside again. The sky market. Just to walk along the canal.
I'm afraid to let myself think about it. To have a real meal. It doesn't seem possible. Will anything taste the same? Look the same? I don't know if anything will ever feel normal again. How can we go back? Really? You know what I've decided? I want to be a nurse. For newborns, and to go far, far away.
How far?
Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe to Palestine? Or maybe you'll go back to school in October, September even. Wouldn't that be something, Annika?
Putty, you know what I was just thinking about? You won't believe this, but I was just thinking about the first day we met, when you were buzzing around with the rest of the boys back in Bremerhaven. I picked you out right away, you know. You were the one that made me laugh and laugh. That afternoon you took me out on the ferry. First you made me laugh, and then you started to kiss me, and kissed me, and the kisses were even better than the laughter. The ferryman kept watching us, and the ferry went of course, and then you made me laugh even more. When we got back, you had such a ravenous appetite. You made that little restaurant open its doors, and you ordered almost everything on the menu. What an appetite, the waiter kept saying. The man can really eat. We'll go back on that ferry one day, Putty, I promise. It won't be long now. And soon I'll be cooking all your favorites. Sauerbraten with red cabbage, potato pancakes with your cherished applesauce. We'll even go to Burkhoff's for cream cakes. But in the meantime, Putty, if you're hungry, hold on to me. Oh, Putty, please, hold on to me.
Just as I was falling asleep, my friend Hannah-Lee suddenly appeared before me, dressed in rags, her face thin and worn. There was such sadness in her enormous eyes that I could read the message in them. Oh, Anne, why have you deserted me? Help me! Help me! Rescue me from this hell! If only I could. Why have I been chosen to live and she to die? Oh, Hannah-Lee. Hannah-Lee, if only I could take you away and share everything I have with you. I hope if you live to the end of the war and return to us, that I'll be able to take you in. Are you still alive? I keep seeing your enormous eyes. I keep seeing myself in your place. You're a reminder of what my fate might have been. What will we do if we're ever... No, I mustn't write that down. But the question won't let itself be pushed to the back of my mind. All the fear I've ever felt is looming before me in total, absolute horror.
And so, we come to the end of this broadcast from BBC Radio Europe. Till tomorrow, listeners, and we all know, no matter how hard the times and how heavy the separation, we are once more a day closer to the liberation.
Strawberries. Oh, there's nothing I love more.
I can't understand you. Your mouth's too full.
I wouldn't talk if I were you. You haven't stopped eating since we came up.
That's a lie. Look at you. You're all red.
Look at you. They're all over your shirt.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's a lot better than shelling those peas yesterday.
Green, green, green. I thought they'd never end.
Every string I pulled made me certain I never want to be just a housewife.
I'm sure you never will be.
Oh, I forgot how delicious they are.
Oh, of course you forgot. We haven't seen a strawberry in 2 years.
Don't eat too many, Putty. Remember how sick you were last night from all that kale soup?
I'm just afraid there won't be any left for jam with those three up in the attic.
Mr. Dussel, please. You're such a worrier. Let the children enjoy themselves. God, these are good.
I'll tell you a secret. Every night I think, they're coming. They're coming, our liberators.
I bet you'll both forget about me when you're back with all your old friends.
Most of our friends are gone, Peter.
But we won't forget you.
Ever.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. When I get out of here, I'm going to make damn sure no one knows I'm Jewish again.
What?
I'm serious. Life would be a whole lot easier if I were a Christian.
You mean you'd be baptized?
I don't know. Maybe.
I could never turn back on who I am. I couldn't. Don't you realize, Peter? You'll always be Jewish. It's in your soul.
I've never seen anything stop you from talking before.
Stop!
Anne!
It's a wonder I haven't abandoned all my ideals. They seem so absurd and impractical. Yet I cling to them because I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are really good at heart. It's utterly impossible for me to build my life on a foundation of chaos, suffering, and death. I see the world slowly being transformed into a wilderness. I hear the approaching thunder, which will destroy us too. I feel the suffering of millions.
Westerbork, a barren heath. Wooden towers where our jailers stand guard, walls covered with thousands of flies. The 8 of us crammed into prison barrack 67, betrayed. We never know by whom. Our last month together. Anne and Peter walking hand in hand between the barracks and barbed wire. Edith washing underclothing in murky water, numb. Margaret silent, staring at nothing. Our last days on Dutch soil. Late August, Paris freed, Brussels, Antwerp. But for us, it is too late. Tuesday, September 3rd, 1944, 1,000 of us are herded into cattle cars, the last transport to leave Westerbork for the extermination camps. The train. 3 days, 3 nights. In the middle of the third night, Auschwitz. Separation. Men from women. Edith. Margaret. Anne. My family. Never again. Selection. Half our transport killed in the gas chambers. One day, Peter and I see a group of men being marched away, his father among them. Gassed. Peter on the death march to Mauthausen, dead 3 days before the British arrive. His mother, Auschwitz, Bergen-Belsen, Buchenwald, Theresienstadt. Date of death unknown. Mr. Dussel dies in Neuengamme. January 27th, 1945, I am freed from Auschwitz. I know nothing of Edith and the children, and then I learn. Edith died in Birkenau of grief, hunger, exhaustion. The winter of 45, typhus breaks out in Bergen-Belsen, killing thousands of prisoners, among them, Margit. Anne's friend Hanali sees Anne through the barbed wire, naked, her head shaven, covered with lice. I don't have anyone anymore, she weeps. A few days later, Anne dies. My daughter's bodies, dumped into mass graves days before the liberation. All that remains
der Blick mir nicht. Sondern auf die Stelle näher nach der Schwelle, dort, wo würde dein Liebgesichtchen sein, wenn du freudenhelle trätest mit herein, wie soll